the amount of solar radiation that is coming actually, that is absorbed or scattered in the atmosphere, it depends what? How the atmosphere is and how much it passes through it before it comes to the Earth's surface, okay? Now, what does that depend on? Well, now, that thing depends on how the sun is located above the Earth. So there are some definitions with respect to the location of the sun and to the Earth, all right? So when the sun is at the zenith, okay, the amount of the atmosphere that the sun rays have to pass to the Earth is what? Is in the minimum. What we said? Well, when we look at this, okay, zenith is defined as the point directly what? Above the sky in a particular location. So the amount of distance is what? The least amount. So you're going to get what? The maximum amount what? Radiation. The angle, the zenith angle, is the angle between the sun and the zenith. And I'll show you a picture about it. So if you increase that angle up there, as you increase in the angle, the sun will be approaching the horizon. So the sun rays, they have to pass what? A lot more what? Of a distance. So if we look at a picture up here to see what this stuff means, okay, so when the sun is at here, it's directly above the Earth in here, so it's what? The distance in here, it's a lot less. So what happens is, we have to have certain types of what? Of a definitions in here. So when we define something we call air mass, okay? And the reason we define this is it's a representation of how much radiation can pass, okay? How much radiation can pass, how much of the atmosphere can pass before it reaches the Earth. And you can see when the sun is at zenith, this is the amount of what? Of an air mass. The radiation should go through it in order to be able to reach the Earth. When the sun moves at a different direction, at a different angle, you can see that the amount of atmosphere that the radiation has to go through it, it's what? It's more. So we define this an air mass, and we give it a number. Now, why this is important? Because a lot of the specifications that we have depends on the amount, on this number. On this number. Notice that since in here, above the atmosphere, since we have no atmosphere in here, the number in here is what? It's 0. So therefore, whatever the hell comes out of the sun reaches up here. The minute you reach in here, you have what? All the atmospheric effects associated with that. So therefore, what do we have? We have problems. Or less is going to come through. Okay. The minute here, as it starts to reach the horizon up here, then we have, so at different points in here, the air mass is different. So what are we doing? We're tabulating the amount of solar radiation that comes through it at different numbers. So you're going to see in the specification, air mass 1.0, this much, this is this much, and so forth. Extremely important number in here. All right? Is this clear? I know a lot of the stuff it's coming to you, but don't worry, I'm going to give you a little break too. The key idea we want to get here is, look, we want to find out how much radiation we're going to get at a certain location. And what does that mean? Okay. Now, sun hours, okay, or peak sun hours, okay, is the number of hours that is required for a day's total solar irradiation to accumulate at a peak solar condition. What does that mean? Okay, so what happens is we have radiations shining the Earth up here, okay? How many hours I'm going to have this radiation shining in the air, and what is the total amount of it, okay? So when I look at an average what? In an average day, I may have what? Certain amount of hours that the sun is going to give me what? The peak amount. Why would it give me a peak amount? Because as the sun moves, the amount of radiation that's going to hit the Earth is what? Varies. When I'm going to get the most is when the sun is what? Directly at zenith, and I get the most amount of it. So obviously, if I'm designing a system, do I need to know how much radiation I'm going to get all day? It's extremely important. Because if that calculation, it's wrong, doesn't matter how good of a solar panels I have, I'm going to give you the wrong answer. So you need to know.
Is there specifications to say how many degrees from zenith on both sides is what
Yes.
you call
Yes.
peak sun hours?
Yes.
Because you wouldn't call peak sun hours like in the morning.
No. You take and as I go through it, it'll become a little bit more clear. So when you look at the whole day, even though you don't have peak hours, but you summarize them all up and you come up with a number. That's why we call the number an average up here. So therefore, in every location this work has been done, you have a certain amount of peak hours. Okay. You guys said you want another break? I'll give you another 5-minute break if you want. Continue. Okay. So let me just continue for the big hours. So therefore, you may in an average day you may have a couple hours. Okay. But the only way you can express this thing is by summarizing the whole radiation that you get over a day. You say, okay, now I have what? A certain amount of peak hours. So this is based on what? By getting that the amount of radiation that I'm getting from the sun as a reference point is going to be what? 1,000 watts per square meter. So provided I get 1,000 watts from square meter, my highest radiation, okay, my peak sun irradiance that I get up there, and monitor how much I'm going to get over the whole day, then I can divide that by that amount, and like I said, I have so many sun hours. For example, if you have an average day, let's say that my average radiance is 600 watts per square meter, and I monitor that over 8 hours, okay? Over 8 hours, okay? So what's going to happen? So I'm going to have what? 600 watts per square meter for 8 hours. I'm going to reach what? 2,800 watt hours per meter square. If I divide that by what? By 1,000, my peak radiance condition, I have about what? 4.8 hours. So I've got about 5 hours. My average during the day, by average radiation, is 600 watts. I'm going to have about 5 hours of peak sun radiance. That means that under this condition, assuming that the maximum radiation that I calculate, which this is used in the standard condition, is 1,000 watts per meter square. It can be possible that at some point in time, I may get even more when it's a real hot day. Maybe get 1,200. Or maybe I'll get, most of the times I get less than that. All right? But this is the reference points that I use. Now I can calculate, I can say, okay, this location here, we get so much. New Jersey, for example, has a certain amount of what? Of peak hours a day. California has different. Florida has different. Some of the islands have different. So now, when you go up there, it's being used in the calculations to design or to come out with the system performance. So when you look it through, in here, what are you going to see? Here's again the same picture that we have in here. At sunrise, probably get nothing, a little bit. At 100 watts is the actually average that you're going to get for the day. So you're coming out for the whole day. This is the amount of radiance you're going to get. It's pretty straightforward. So this way you can calculate for every location by monitoring how much radiation you're going to get over the day. So what do you have? You've done that over and over again, and you make tabulations for every location that you have. Is this clear? Because this is extremely important to understand how many peak hours. Because you're going to go to a certain location, you're going to say to the customer, you know, New Jersey, she's going to say, I will be able to avoid the utility company. You say, hold it. You're going to put a 5 kW system. It's going to be as what? Supplementary to your utility company. It's going to give you so much power per year, per day, for this. You're not going to call a public service and tell them to remove the meter. So far, you're still going to need the grid.